Good evening, friends. So, meeting again with the concept of the vital force, concept of the medicines, and concept of the natural disease. Why Dr. Samuel Hahnemann sir explains why there is a medicinal action is stronger or medicinal artificial disease is stronger than the natural disease. The concept he tried to explain with different examples, and basically the thing is that whenever he has to explain anything, he always tries to give the reasoning behind that. And that reasoning he mentioned over there, that the natural disease is conditional in origin. It requires three conditions. It should satisfy the susceptibility, it should satisfy the weak constitution, it should satisfy the miasmatic background or dominating miasm, and then only the natural disease has a capacity to disturb the human being. As compared, when you prove medicines on healthy human being and give the medicines to the healthy human being, it generally affects all individuals at the different ages without having any conditions. And that's why if they are acting unconditionally, it itself suggests that medicines are quite stronger in action, and because of which those stronger morphic forces which are developed because of the application of the medicines always have capacity to remove the natural disease which is weak in constitution. So in order to explain the nature's law of cure and to give the detailed explanation with reasoning, he tried to explain all those things in those aphorisms. So yesterday we have finished up to the aphorism number 33 along with the footnote to that paragraph. Let us start with the aphorism number 34. So what he says over there in 34, the greater strength of the artificial disease producible by medicines is, however, not the sole cause of their power to cure natural diseases. In order that they may effect a cure, it is before all things requisite that they should be capable of producing in the human body an artificial disease as similar as possible to the disease to be cured, which, with somewhat increased power, transforms to a very similar morbid state the instinctive life principle, which in itself is capable of any reflection or act of memory. So what he is explaining, that it doesn't mean that every medicine which is stronger in force because of which it cures the natural disease. It is not so. There is one more important condition should be favorable. And what is that? They should be similar. Unless and until they are similar, it is not possible to get a cure. So big condition is that there should be a law of similars which works, and then only nature's law of cure works. So two important things are necessary. First important thing is necessary, that the disease picture and the drug picture should match each other. Means disease state and the drug state should match each other. And if it matches, then the stronger artificial disease produced because of the medicines, it always removes the natural disease permanently. So big condition is law of similars. Then and then only it has a capacity to remove. Further he says, it not only obscures म्हणजे अस्पष्ट करणे, अस्पष्ट, धूसर. It not only obscures but extinguishes. What he says, it removes permanently. It never just palliates like allopathic medicine. It not only obscures but extinguishes and thereby annihilates the derangement caused by the natural disease. So he explains over there that whatever may be the natural disease, that will be annihilated forever. It never remains. So if the law of similars you are applying, you are using, and second important thing, you are using the medicinal force which is stronger than natural disease, it will extinguish the natural disease permanently. This is so true that no previously existing disease can be cured, even by nature herself, by accession of the new dissimilar disease, be it ever so strong, and just as little can be cured by the medical treatment with drugs which are incapable of producing similar morbid conditions in the healthy body. So what he says, if there is no similarity between them, if they are not at all similar to one another, they will not at all cure. They will only palliate. And this is what happens when you give allopathic medicine. For example, a patient is suffering from rheumatoid arthritis and comes to you the rheumatic pains. If you give just a anti-inflammatory, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, yes, definitely within span of half an hour or 1 hour, the patient's pains will be palliated for time being. But it is not called as a cure. It only temporarily alleviates the patient's symptoms, because there is no correlation between the patient's complaints and the medicinal action. Medicine doesn't have a similar presentation. The allopathic medicine, the whatever NSAIDs which you are using, if you give to the healthy human being, it will not going to produce the similar types of symptomatology. And that's why it doesn't have a capacity to cure the patient, even though it is so strong in action. So most important thing is that if you want to treat that patient of the rheumatoid arthritis, you have to take all the details. Patient comes to you with severe joint pains, the small joints gets affected, the wrist gets affected, which are bilaterally symmetrical, which are affected at the same time, and patient comes to you. He has not taken any allopathic treatment and it has started since last 1 or 2 months, and he comes to you with that case. And he says over there that he feels better when he takes rest, but when he tries to move, it used to pain a lot. Then after application of little bit warm, he feels better. And at the same time, the both wrists gets affected. Patient complains that he cannot, patient, if she is a female, she explains that she cannot knit, she cannot do a household work. And this is the problem with which patient has come. Now you have a remedy which has affections of the small joints, which have typical wrist joint affections. Both wrists are affected. A symptom similarity is there at this level. And if you find a remedy which is very close to the patient's complaints, the remedy you know better than me, which is the remedy which is having similar types of symptoms. Yes, Maithili shares very nicely. Arshal, Actius picata. Actius picata is the remedy which has having very similar type of presentation. So if you give this Actius picata to the patient on the basis of law of similars, and if it matches completely, then definitely the Actius picata will remove the natural disease permanently, and what remains is the artificial disease. And this is what he wants to highlight. This is what he wants to tell you, that the medicine, only the medicine is stronger is not the rule with which it removes the disease permanently. It should be similar. And if it is dissimilar, it never cures that patient. Then you get only the palliation. So if you prescribe remedy on the basis of palliation, on the basis of dissimilarity, it is only palliative mode of treatment, but not a curative mode of treatment. So 34 aphorism he has explained regarding the two important conditions. First, the medicine should be very similar to the natural disease in its action, and second important thing, that it should be stronger than the natural disease. Then and then only it can cure the natural disease. So 34 we have finished. Let us go with the 35. And now to illustrate, he has given illustration why this happens, why allopathic medicine never cures and why homeopathic medicine cures. The detailed explanation he tries to explain. So let us go ahead with the 35. In order to illustrate this, we shall consider in three different cases as well what happens in nature when two dissimilar natural diseases meets together in one person, as also the result of ordinary medical treatment of the diseases with unsuitable allopathic drugs which are incapable of producing an artificial morbific condition similar to disease to be cured. whereby it will appear that even nature herself is unable to remove the dissimilar disease already present by one that is unhomeopathic, even though it be stronger. Just as little is is the unhomeopathic employment of even the strongest medicines ever capable of curing any disease whatsoever. Now he tries to explain you why these allopathic drugs never work, why homeopathy works and why allopathy never works, why it never cures. That is the first important thing. And he wants to explain that with giving illustration. So from this aphorism, 35 aphorism, I think to the 45 aphorism, up to the 45, just a minute, yes, up to the 43, he explains what happens when two natural dissimilar diseases meets inside one human being. He explains the three important conditions and its correlation with the allopathy. So what happens when two natural dissimilar diseases meets inside one human being, and then by taking all illustrations from different journals, from different allopathic journals, and what happens in the nature, he tries to explain in order to explain why allopathy never cures. Three important conditions develop when you prescribe on the basis of dissimilarity, and which happens in the nature itself. He says this is not what I am saying. This is what happens in the nature. So Hahnemann always gives the proofs in order to explain whatever he wants to explain. And in order to explain why the allopathic medicines never works, he gives all those things. And from aphorism number 36 onwards, he explains three important conditions in order to explain his hypothesis that why allopathic medicines, which are based upon dissimilarity, never works. So first condition he defines in 36 aphorism, where he explains what happens when two natural dissimilar diseases meets inside one human being. So let us understand what he wants to say. So 36, aphorism number 36. If two dissimilar diseases meeting together in one human being be of equal strength, or still more, if the older one be stronger, the new disease will repelled by the old one from the body and not allowed to affect it. What he is saying? When two dissimilar diseases meeting together in a human being of equal strength, both of them are having equal strength, or still more, if the older one be stronger, if the older disease is stronger already, the new disease will be repelled by the old one from the body and not allowed to affect it. So at that time, no new disease enters inside your body if your own disease is stronger, because both of them are having dissimilarity. They are not close to each other. They are not close to each other at symptomatic level. Their manifestations are different. Their places are different. And because of which, first thing, if older one is stronger, it repels, it never allows the newer one to enter in your body. So this is the first condition. And this is what same happens when a person who is suffering from the tuberculosis, and if you give antibiotics to him, which are dissimilar to the natural disease, there is no similarity between the patient's complaint, the tuberculosis patient, and the disease action. So dissimilarity is there. The disease is so stronger that it repels, it never allows the antibiotic to work. And that's why tuberculosis doesn't get recovered because of the antibiotics. It requires stronger medicines in order to remove that. And this is what the first important thing, the correlation between what happens when two dissimilar diseases meets inside one human being. If the older one is stronger, it repels the newer one to enter inside the body. And this is the correlation between allopathic treatment and the two natural dissimilar diseases. See, he explains it. A patient suffering from severe chronic disease will not be infected by the moderate autumnal dysentery or other epidemic disease. So if the patient who is already suffering from tuberculosis, he will not suffer from the autumnal dysentery, a viral dysentery. Another example he gives, The plague of Levant, according to Larry. So Larry, it is the example taken from different journals. There is some in the footnote he has given he has mentioned from where he has collected. So the plague of Levant, according to Larry, was the allopath, does not break out where scurvy is prevalent. So if the scurvy is prevalent, the plague of Levant will not happen, because if the scurvy is stronger, it never allows the plague to enter inside the body. And the person suffering from eczema are not infected by it. If the patient is having strong eczema, it will repel the plague to enter. So this is because dissimilarity. Eczema is having different manifestation. The plague is having different manifestation. Dissimilarity between two diseases, and that's why if the older one is stronger, it never allows the another one to enter. Rachitis, Jenner alleges. Alleges म्हणजे ठासून सांगणे, एखादी गोष्ट जोराने सांगणे. Rachitis. What is rachitis? Rachitis is nothing but the rickets prevents the vaccination from taking effect. So vaccination is absolutely having different manifestation. The rickets is having rachitis. It is the inflammation of the bones is having a different manifestation. So vaccination effect never takes place in those individuals if the rachitis is stronger. Again, a Jenner who is not a homeopath, he mentions about his. Those suffering from pulmonary consumption. Consumption is the word used for tuberculosis. कंझम्पशन हा शब्द संपूर्ण रेपर्टरी मध्ये मट्रिया मेडिका मध्ये जिथे जिथे येतो त्याचा अर्थ ट्युबरक्युलोसिस. Those suffering from the pulmonary consumption are not liable to be attacked by the epidemic fevers of not very violent character, according to von Hildenbrand. So another allopathic explanation he explains over there, who has mentioned in the journal that if a person is suffering from the pulmonary tuberculosis, the normal fever or any viral fever never enters inside the body. So these are the things which happens very commonly. So this happens because there is a dissimilarity between the normal and the there is a dissimilarity between patients' some complaints and the new presentation. There was one question, sir, I have doubts, sir, in patients with chronic diabetes and hypertension or patients with other comorbidities were more prone to COVID-19. That is the third condition. This is first, we are discussing the first one. We have to go one by one. After first we have understood, then we'll turn to second, and then we'll third. And the answer is in third. Your question is answered in third condition. Okay. So this is the first condition. Now he correlates it with allopathy. So we'll start with the 37. So we'll start with 37. 37 he mentioned. So also under the ordinary medical treatment, an old chronic disease remains uncured and unaltered if it is treated according to the common allopathic method. That is to say, with medicines that are incapable of producing in the healthy individual a state of health similar to the disease, even though the treatment should last for years and is not of too violent character. This is the daily witnessed in practice. It is therefore unnecessary to give any illustrative examples. So he has correlated it with allopathy, and this is common example. What we observe, first important thing which you used to observe is that if person suffering from tuberculosis having a severe cough and any cough syrup is given, it never works. It never acts. This is so common. It never gets cured. The action of the medicine never happens because original disease is stronger and symptoms are different, and cough syrup symptoms are absolutely different. There is no correlation between the patient symptomatology and the medicine given, and because of which it repels the original disease, repels the action of that cough syrup. So this is first condition one must understand. So first condition is repulsion. Keep it in your mind. The first condition is called as repulsion. Okay. I know we are a little bit fast, but we have to go because this is just a thing which one must know. There is a footnote, and all the footnotes he mentioned the references, but there is a one footnote 19 number. Just read that regarding the violent character of the medicine. But if treated with violent allopathic medicines, other diseases will be formed in its place, which are more difficult and dangerous to the life. So he's explaining that if the medicine which is used in very strong dose, it acts poisonously under the primary action. It will cause the damage. It will create the new disorder. That is the third condition will develop at that time, the double complex disease. So that we'll learn in either tomorrow's or day after tomorrow's session, because it is a big thing. So there are different pros and cons that we have to understand, and rest of the footnotes, they are related with from where Hahnemann have collected all those examples. So those examples are, yes, 37 Chaitrali, what he has said in 37 aphorism, he has mentioned only one thing. What he has mentioned? He has mentioned, he has correlated the first condition, what happens in two natural dissimilar diseases, and correlated it with the homeopathy, with the allopathy. So if the original disease is stronger, it will repel the action of allopathic medicine. One more example, if a patient suffering from psoriasis and you are giving a local ointment antifungal, it repels the action of that antifungal element, because it never has any correlation. There is a dissimilarity, and original disease is already stronger, so it repels the action of that ointment. Many a times in any chronic disease, patient who is suffering from severe chronic disease, and you give some allopathic medicine, it never works, it never shows its action. This is what is the repulsion. So first condition, when two dissimilar diseases meets inside one human being, if older one is stronger, it repels the newer one to enter inside the body. So we have discussed the first condition. Will stop over here only, because another aphorism, 38 aphorism, is a quite big aphorism. I think it will take only tomorrow's session. So we'll stop over here and we'll have some chat in between. If any queries are there, we'll discuss those queries and then we'll go ahead. Any query, any question? Ali, you have joined late today. Any queries?
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Prasanna. You have joined?
Sir, I was late because of the son's health, but he is doing good now, sir. I'm giving Noxum 200, already 2 doses given, and just now I have given one more dose, sir.
You have to repeat it tedious. Naxomica is a very short action. Naxomica is a remedy which has only 1 to 7 days action. And this is the remedy which requires little bit repetition if you want a result.
Okay.
Yesterday,
Sir,
bolo.
Sir, will it be better to repeat it in water dose or in single dose?
Directly four pills on the tongue. 4 pills 3 times.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yesterday evening, there was something. He came from tuition in the evening, and he said that some hallucinations happened, sir, in the evening. So I called you. Actually, I disturbed you. He said that someone is coming to kill me, and he said that someone is hiding behind the door.
Okay.
And he was searching. He was searching in the room for something.
Okay. How much time
that happened? Yesterday evening by 8:30. From 8:30 to 12, 8:30 to 11, like that. It happens, sir.
Okay. It doesn't create any problem. If he doesn't have a fever, there is no fear. Keep it in your mind.
But actually, when there is severe heartburn, he is just bending like a bow, backwards.
Does he sleep in time?
Actually, he's last 1 year back, he had severe constipation, sir. And that time there was severe problem, and then the reflex started, sir.
Okay. You do one thing, you write his detailed case and send it.
Okay.
So we'll solve that.
Okay, sir.
You send it to
And
Prerna.
now he is good, sir. He is doing his own duties and everything. He is in normal health, sir, now.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. I will just note down and send it in the nights.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, thank you, sir.
Anyone having any question in mind? Chaitral, you have left the group. Why? I don't know.
No, sir, I'm here.
No, in the
No,
group.
sir, I'm here.
No, in homeopathic group, you have left from the homeopathic group. And that's why you never got the message that there was no lecture on that day.
Yes, sir. I didn't check, sir, messages on the WhatsApp. त्याच्यामुळे मला माहिती नाही पडलं.
पण तू ग्रुप मधनं लेफ्ट झालीये, मला कळालं नाही का बरं.
नाही सर, मी आहे. नाही सर, नाही नाही. नाही सर, मी आहे ग्रुपमध्ये.
नाही ना, तू लेफ्ट झालीये बघ.
सर, मी चेक करते आणखी एकदा. मी चेक करते सर. हो.
एनी अदर क्वेश्चन, क्वेरी? कोणाला काही प्रश्न मराठीत विचारले तरी चालतील, हिंदीत बोललं तरी चालेल. आपला हा प्रॉब्लेम आहे की आपल्याला प्रश्नच पडत नाही. We should have many questions in our mind. How many of you have joined yesterday's session, Dr. Krishna Kumar Dinde sir? किती जणांनी अटेंड केला? How many of you have joined? You have not joined?